Hi, my name's Lindsay and I'm an applications engineer at Hawkridge Systems. In this video, we're going to go over how to download your post processor, as well as how to install it, post with it, and then send it to the machine. So what we're going to do is we're going to find the post processor first on the website. So we're going to go to hawkridgesys.com, and then we're going to navigate to the products section. At the bottom of the products section, you'll see a CAM post processors. So I'm going to select that under the machining. And then if we scroll down, you should see a free CAM post processors section. So within this section, you'll actually see a whole bunch of different machines available. So what I'm going to do is just filter this. I'm going to select my milling machine. And again, this list is going to grow, so there will be more machines available in the future. We're going to select our machine make. So this is going to be the Haas machine. And then again, I can choose the model, but I have the 4 listed here, so I might as well just select my Haas VF series. Once I get into this page, it's going to actually ask me to fill out my information to download this, and then read a disclaimer about the post processor. So I want to fill that out, and then I can submit that information and download my post processor. I do also want to show you back on that CAM post processors page. At the very bottom of the page, you also have the option of creating custom CAM post processor. So Hawkridge will actually create a post processor for you if it is not listed above. So you would fill this information out, submit your information, and we'll contact you about that post processor. So once you've downloaded the post, you're going to get a zipped folder. So what I want to do is extract that folder. So choose extract all. And then we're going to extract that, and I'm just putting it on my desktop. So you'll get a folder with a whole bunch of different files in it. The one file that you should take a look at when you get this is this sample code. So what this is going to hold is some sample code from that specific post. So it's just some sample code that you can scroll through and take a look at and just make sure that that's what you want in your code. Above that sample code, you'll see a whole bunch of different files, and we're actually going to highlight all of those and then copy them and place them into the post processor folder. So to find the post processor folder, you're going to go to your C drive. You're going to locate the program data folder. If you can't find this, you need to unhide the folder. So it's a hidden folder to start with. You want to unhide that within your control panel. So I'm going to open my program data folder. I'm going to scroll down until I find SolidWorks, and then I'm going to select my SolidWorks CAM 2018. Inside this folder, you'll see a posts folder. So I'm going to select that, and then the type of machine that I'm adding my post for. So I'm adding a milling machine, and then I can go ahead and just paste the files in here. So you'll see all of those files have been pasted in the posts folder. So I can close out of that, and then I'll come into SolidWorks CAM. So to select the post processor, I've actually programmed this file already. Whether you do this at the beginning, whether you do it at the end, you can choose. But I, again, like to usually do this before I program just so that it's all set up. But I can choose to define the machine. So this is where you're going to select the post. And inside the machine settings, I'm going to click on the post processor tab. So inside here, I'm going to scroll down until I find that Haas VF series. If there's nothing in this window, if it hasn't found the actual folder yet, you just browse for that folder that you put the posts into. And then I'm going to select that Haas VF series. I need to make sure that I choose the select button, or else it doesn't become my active post processor. So I'll choose select, and now I've selected that post. You'll also notice that we have a lot of information about the post below the selection. So even in this section here, you can actually scroll down through this page, or you can hit the More button, and it actually opens that page right up into a larger window. This is actually telling you information about the post. So it's actually going to give you some tool information, some offset information, and even G-code and M-code listings. So you can actually go through this and just kind of check and see if this is what your machine is actually going to need to run. So once we've got that, we can press OK. And one thing that I like to do once I've selected the post, and especially if I have toolpaths in here already, is I want to hit the Generate Toolpath button just once more in order to refresh my toolpaths. And now that I've refreshed the toolpaths to my new post processor, I can go ahead and simulate the toolpaths. So I always want to simulate inside of SolidWorks CAM before I post-process. So I'm going to go ahead and play through my simulation, check out all of the different tool paths, make sure it's not running into anything or doing any kind of moves that I don't want it to do. And again, you can slow this down to whatever speed that you want. So once that's finished, there is an option in here called Show Difference. And what I can do is select that Show Difference button, and it's actually going to give me a display of the simulated part. And I can actually go through that and just make sure that everything is either green or blue in the areas that I want it to be. And blue means that there's material that still needs to be cut. Red or orange would mean that I've actually gouged into the part somewhere. So these are places where we can actually double check the program before we post-process to make sure that it's not going to gouge into any areas or do anything that we don't want it to do on the machine. So I'm going to go ahead and choose the OK button, and then I can go ahead and post-process. So I'm going to choose my post-process button, and I'm going to just save this on the desktop, but you can choose where you want to save it. And then I bring up my post-process window. So in the post-process window at the very bottom here under Options, we can actually go in here and select our NC editor. So it's actually going to open up into the NC editor if we select that here. So after I've selected that, then I can go through and actually play the post processor, or the fast option will just run straight through the post. But if I press the play button, it'll actually play through and you can see the code being generated. So then I can press the check mark, the green check mark in the top left-hand corner, and this is going to open up into my SolidWorks CAM editor. So I can scroll through this code and actually double check and verify that all of my code is correct. I want to check my offsets, I want to check my tools, all of that information that you want to check before you send this to the machine. We also do have under the Editor tab a drop down that actually allows us to choose specific machines that we want to run this as. So if I choose Haas milling, and then I go into my backplot tab, I can actually backplot this as a Haas machine. And I'm going to choose my backplot window here. And what this will actually allow me to do is backplot through the actual code instead of the CL data from the software. So this is actually backplotting against the G code that we've posted. This is a really good check if we want to run this through. So you can actually play through this code and double check that it's actually running the way you want it to. Once you've gone through all of these checks, then you're ready to take this to your machine. Again, make sure when you do take this to the machine that you are running this above the part or in air. So just always double check that before you actually test this on a part. In this video, we've covered how to download and how to install your post processor from the Hawkridge Systems website. We've also shown you how to post your code and run it in the NC editor. Thanks for watching.